Ebola got a head start on us. It is far ahead of us, it is running faster than us, and it is winning the race. We cannot let Ebola win. For if Ebola wins, we, the people of the United Nations, lose so very much. We lose things that we cannot lose. We cannot let that happen. WHO also advises that within 60 days, we must ensure that 70% of infected people are in a care facility and 70% of burials are done without causing further infection. We need to do that within 60 days from October 1. If we reach these targets, then we can turn this epidemic around. My colleague, Dr. Bruce Aylward of WHO and UNMIR, stated today that we can expect a new caseload of approximately 10,000 people per week by 1 December. This means that we need 7,000 beds for treatment. Under current planning and projections, we expect to have approximately 4,300 beds in Ebola treatment centers by that date. However, many of those beds have no staff to operate them under current plans. To make up for the gap in beds, we must build about 2,700 beds in community care centers, or about 300 such centers. We will also need staff to manage the facilities and care for those people in the beds. And those staff need to be trained so they themselves do not fall sick, and they need to be paid and properly equipped.
On October 19, 1997, the hit television series named The Simpsons released a new episode in its 9th season entitled Lisa's Sax. Within this episode was a very short clip in which this picture can be seen that reads, "Curious George and the Ebola virus." Keep in mind that this episode first aired in 1997. Now some people would argue that because the origins of the Ebola virus can be traced back as early as the 1970s, this is nothing more than a strange coincidence. Although this is true, if you dismiss this as just coincidence prematurely, you will miss a critical hint that proves that this event cannot be merely a coincidence. According to the book and television series, Curious George was an African monkey who was adopted by a man and taken back to America to live in New York City. Therefore this image in Season 9, Episode 3 is clearly indicating that not only does Curious George have the Ebola virus, but he has the Ebola virus in America. More specifically, Curious George has the Ebola virus in New York City. Did this episode foretell that the Ebola virus would be released in America?